I'm so excited. We're going to be making kimbap, and if you don't know what that is, you definitely want to watch this episode. So let's get started. Welcome to The Bold Encourager. I'm Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. It just allows for me to get my positive, fun messages out to everyone. So today we're making kimbap. If you don't know what that is, it's the Korean version of what you would consider a sushi roll, but except there's no sushi. So the thing is, it's a roll. It has the rice, the vegetables, but the difference is it's a Korean barbecue beef inside. At least that's how we make it, me and my mom. But we put Korean barbecue beef inside instead of fish. So if you don't like fish and you're not really a big fan of, or you're just allergic to shellfish or whatever it may be, this is the perfect recipe for you. If you've been wanting to eat sushi rolls because you hear they're awesome, but you're like, you know what, I don't like fish, or I'm allergic to shellfish or some kind of fish, then this is the perfect opportunity for you to eat this, and it is so good. I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. It's one of the things that you're going to be like, wow, this is one of the best things that's Korean, because there's Korean barbecue. Everybody's had Korean barbecue. I don't frequently see kimbap in restaurants. There are in some restaurants, but it's not like I see. The main thing that I always see is Korean barbecue beef or Korean barbecue chicken or Korean barbecue pork. That's very common. That's the bulgogi that we made a few weeks ago. But the kimbap I don't see as often. And so I thought this is a perfect recipe to share with you. It was really, really good. Very easy to make, so let's watch how you can make this recipe.
Wash it.
Wash it.
Boil the water first.
Boil the water first.
Then you put the spinach into the boiling water.
Then you put the spinach in the boiling water.
Then you rinse them because it's so hot, right?
Then you rinse them because it's so hot. And here you have this beautiful, delicious spinach.
Yeah.
That has been marinated in sesame seeds, sesame oil, pepper, and green onions. Anything else?
Yeah.
That's it.
A little bit of salt.
And a little bit of salt. It's honestly the best spinach you will ever eat in your life. As you can see, we have little spears of daikon.
Yeah, strips.
Strips of daikon, and they're cut up. We get a lot of strips here. We took basically half of a daikon, like a full one, and cut them up into little spears, this size. That's all what
Strips, honey.
spears, Zappy. They're these spears. They're gonna like it.
Yeah. They don't call it strips.
They can call them strips or spears, but I like spears better. That's gonna make it funny, Mom.
That's cute. That's cute, actually.
And this is one big carrot cut up into little shreds, and this size. And that was actually sauteed in oil with a little bit of pepper, it looks like. Sprinkle a little pepper on it. Did you sprinkle pepper on it?
Which one?
On this?
Yes, I did. I put a little bit of salt, a little bit of
A little bit of salt and pepper, of course. You can't ever not season.
Yeah, season always tastes better.
And we sauteed it in oil, and they're cut up into little ones. This was a huge carrot, the biggest carrot I've ever seen in my life. So I would say
we bought it.
we got it at the Korean store.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not able to go to the Korean store, you probably want to get like 3 carrots, regular size carrots, to match.
That's huge.
Match 1 carrot that we got at the Korean store. But here we are. These are so far what we have cut up and ready to go to make our kimbap. Of course, we gotta have egg, so we made 1 omelet and we cut them up into these little strips. And of course, you always want to season it with salt and pepper. Here's the beef bulgogi that my mom was making for the kimbap. I actually did a video on pork bulgogi, and it's the same sauce. So I will link that video down below. So if you want to get that recipe, if you haven't checked out our pork bulgogi recipe, it's the same flavoring, we just used beef. So I cooked 3 cups of rice, and then we seasoned it with sesame oil and sesame seeds and vinegar. I would say, with Korean cooking, we don't measure a lot of times. So I would say 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and about 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. And here is the bulgogi that we cooked. So you can cook whatever meat you'd like. Our preference is the beef bulgogi in the kimbap. So you can, as I said, I'll link that recipe down below for you. And then here's the organic seaweed wraps that you will need to wrap everything in. I'm going to spread out the rice. Very thin layer.
Yeah.
So that it spreads nice and evenly. Let's just speed this up a little bit, and you just want to go halfway, not all the way to the top. So start with a strip of egg, a strip of carrot, just one line, like evenly spaced. So there's just an even amount of each ingredient. Then, as you can see, my mom's trying to make it as thick as the egg, and then another strip of the daikon. And then there's the spinach. And daikon's something that's a Korean radish that you can get in the store. Comes in a package if you've never heard of it, but it's a very good snack. It's almost like a pickle, I guess you could say, if you were to talk Americanized, but it tastes very different. And then you want to add a strip of your bulgogi, and here you have evenly placed all the ingredients in there, and you're going to wrap it ever so tightly so it stays put. So you keep wrapping it to where it's just so tight, so when we cut it, it doesn't fall apart. And then at the very edge, you're going to put a little bit of rice to seal it very tightly. So make sure you put this, kind of smash it in there with the rice. When it's rolled nice and tight like this, it's ready to be cut. Here's the first roll, and we're just gonna keep rolling them until we use up all the ingredients that we cut. These are all the rolls that we made, and they're ready to be cut. Don't they look so yummy? Now you're gonna wanna brush the top of the rolls with the sesame oil to make it a little bit of shiny. Then of course we gotta sprinkle it with some sesame seeds. You're gonna wanna take a very sharp knife to cut these so that they cut so perfectly and are the same size, so you make a very nice presentation. Here's the final presentation. Isn't it so pretty? See, it wasn't that hard, right? You would think, oh, it's gotta be hard. It's in the shape of a sushi roll. It's gotta be difficult to make, right? Well, it's not that difficult. I mean, sushi rolls are probably a little bit more difficult because you gotta handle the fish and how you kind of make that fish. If you want to do raw sushi rolls, those are a little more tough because you gotta prepare it pretty well to make sure you don't get any kind of food poisoning or anything like that. That's why I love kimbap, because it's so easy to make and you don't have to worry about the way you handle the Korean barbecue beef. It's a lot easier to handle, and it has such a great flavor. Don't get me wrong, I love sushi. I'm a big fan of sushi, but I do prefer, when it comes to making something, I prefer to make kimbap. It's a lot easier, and to me it's just as tasty. So I encourage you to try out this recipe with your family. It would be a fun little night for you and the kids. And you don't have to use the exact same ingredients that we used. You can use different ones and do a different combo. If you wanted to use chicken, beef, pork, whatever you wanted to use in replacement of the Korean beef. If you want to make it vegetarian, go ahead and just leave the beef out and just put another vegetable there. So there's a lot you can do with this recipe. It's you being extra creative, and what I love about it is it's super colorful. and it's just really pretty. So when you have guests over, another great party kind of recipe for you and your guests to eat. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please go ahead, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you haven't followed me on social media, what are you doing? Follow me on social media. The links will be down below. And every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will post a new fun video, and you're not going to want to miss it. So go ahead and hit that notification bell. Well, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you stay encouraged.